Is everyone happy after some technical difficulties?
Speaking of technical difficulties, the controller is not working again. Metal Gear Mondays once more. Howdy all.
Howdy.
It's the both of us like usual. I don't know that we need
It's the
introduction.
both of us, the amazing Depressio brothers. Speaking of depression, today's Kojima.
Today is Kojima.
Kojima, the person who reminds us on Veterans Day that why are we here? Only to suffer.
Yep.
What, you know, I would love to take Kojima and just put him into a like just basic training thing. I would love to see Hideo Kojima go through Marine basic training and then make a movie about it, because I know whatever comes out of that would be in no way relate. Like the drill sergeant would have magic powers.
Yeah. I'm wondering, like every time he opens the door, that map and all those pictures and that stolen but very small secret document that I guess they didn't blow up the microfiche all the way.
It's one of them things. It is such a small camera. It makes such a small picture.
Yeah.
I think that. Oh, and Diggs said Miss Gray Buffalo is hanging with Solid Snake today. Yeah, we made Metal Gear Solid characters, and then on the random roll up a Metal Gear Solid character chart, I made a lady that is in every way generic. Like if there was a cardboard cutout of a Kojima character, I made it. And it is Miss Gray Buffalo, who is just person and has gun. There is nothing remarkable about them. And at the end of it, I said, I made a fucking NPC.
You did indeed.
That makes me so sad.
Do we like the Western tack or the parade tack?
Let's take a look. I think we should have the parade tack because that's fabulous.
All right, that's what I thought.
I think if we're gonna do, non-kosher off the book shit in a country we have no business being in, as a non-government organization stealing people, we can write in there like the Lippins on our ponies themselves.
Yes. Okay, that's what I thought as well.
Yeah. There's Diggs linked it. There's the little app where you can make your own.
Roll your own Kojima character.
Make your own Kojima characters. Yeah. Let's hear your Kojima characters. I would love to see what everyone can come up with. Depp, though, first I must thank you for your service, for being not only a cop, but also Navy person. So this is the one thank you for your service you're gonna get today. I have no 20% discount on oil changes or Starbucks. I'm sorry.
I'm more of a Denny's person anyway. That's Veterans Day, so I'm
Yeah, but
losing
the
nothing.
problem is that like I've known a lot of vets. I've, as you know, done a lot of charity for vets. A lot of friends who are
Yeah.
vets, and I always try to help. But you know, it's the small touches that make war interesting. Anyways, to the pony. Please don't clip that. That's weird. Diggs, it may
Oh.
not be copyright because it's sped up. However, if Raffi wants a piece of our ass, we'll fight him.
Yeah.
Oh, look, a little dog. You're allowed to just find things like this, but the one thing I've learned is that every veteran I know who goes out and gets the free veteran meals usually regrets them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. How do I change weapons again? Yep. Nope.
That's a
nope.
good. Now, one of these. Don't worry. It's normal for commandos to. Wow. I never read that in the doctrine manual. When taking fire from unknown positions, stop and park vehicle, turn off engine, egress, and walk towards sound.
Yeah. Hope you survive, brother. 30%. I don't like his chances.
He screamed, he's fine.
Extraction failed.
Oh no.
Oh.
It just dropped him.
You know, you don't learn how to make omelets without crushing some eggs with a hammer or something. My God, oh, he did. That's what you think. Don't worry, we're just gonna borrow things. You'll be fine.
Yep, there we go. I've got
To the
Diamond Dog
pony!
now.
But Diggs, if that gets struck, let me know, and we can continue to deep fry music, because my deep frying of music seems to not only make YouTube not understand what it is, it also seems to terrify it, because I put one of my deep fried songs on there, you know, Barbara Ann, or as we like to call it, Barbara.
Yeah.
What that deep fried version of it, it said that was the ink spots singing Only You. The AI melted. It is the equivalent of a CAPTCHA for audio processing software.
I just noticed
you
that the
can't-
Diamond Dog logo is on the hips of the fucking. Alright.
We found out there's an English-speaking soldier somewhere in the region. He's a language specialist. His role is to translate information related to the West into Russian. If we can get him to join us, we'll have the upper hand in information warfare.
Get him to join us.
And extract
We need the upper hand in information warfare. All right. Let's dust off the old knowledge of stuffs and things. Let's open the book of tradecraft, right?
Yeah.
I need information from the enemy, and I would certainly like to know who and what and where. Now, do I find the guy who happens to speak the language I do, or B, learn their language so I can speak to any of them? Which of these do we do, class? Which of these do we do?
Ah, yeah, it's F for binoculars.
Complete.
F for Farsi.
Analysis complete.
There's a fourth. I know there is. Where are you?
Ah, C. Speak slowly and loudly in English while waving your hands.
It always works.
that Soviet soldier in the Green Beret is speaking English. Must be a language
He is?
specialist.
Why?
How do you know from here?
Be capable of Russian
How?
support. Try and extract him.
I need an interpreter. There's no one outside of the Soviet Union who speaks Russian and English. I mean, this is the equivalent of saying, I need to find a Texan, and then singing, you know, the stars at night are big and bright, and waiting for the right number of claps.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so dumb it hurts.
It's a fourth. Around here somewhere.
Lazy Dog, that's their Metal Gear Solid person name. Sits at security desk reading paper, looks up at Snake walking by. Not my problem.
Fucking A, man, that's the most realistic portrayal in this game.
Okay, Hair Flex, Lightning Buffalo, World War II, well established, funny and friendly, rifleman, no psychic, no cyber, government agent, extremely loyal. Favorite weapon. I'm Lightning Buffalo, and this is my Nylon 66. Has a 4-hour speech on the Nylon 66 talking about their 22 non-lubricated semi-automatic rifle. They're the walking brochure of it.
Good lord.
This is horrible.
Where did you come from?
The Lippens on a pony arrives when it means to.
Precisely what it means to. Most of the NI5 agents who went to Cambridge spoke very good Russian. I believe that.
Especially the Cambridge 5.
Yep.
I think most of those guys spoke pretty good Russian in the end.
Really good. They're getting practice. That looked like it should have broken the pony's back.
Don't worry about it. This is an all-terrain horse. This isn't a street horse.
You know, so I've done the super don't kill anybody run of Metal Gear Solid 5, and it takes about 130 hours to
Why?
complete.
Why? Why would you do that? Why?
Because that's my first playthrough on every one of these games. I am murderous now. My first playthrough was always non-lethal.
So you're saying you stay your hands until they're so dry that they are just ashy, and you're like, now is time to wet them with blood.
Yes.
All right, that makes sense.
Well, you know, I want to see what the non-lethal, if it changes anything. Some of the games, it changes the way things happen or what your outcome is. This game, it doesn't change anything.
So Gombo says, we've seen a giant Doom fire whale.
Yes.
Parenthetical GDFW.
Uh-huh.
But the most unreasonable part is the horse appearing out of nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Now, if you saw a white horse in Afghanistan, that belongs to somebody.
That belongs to somebody very important.
Yeah, somebody who has like poppy fields and like an army. So if their like white horse dressed up like the Lippens on her pony like comes across you in the woods, walk away. They will miss that horse.
You made it. First, use the binoculars to locate
The binoculars? Okay.
Ah, yes.
What am I actually doing here? Who saw me?
That bird.
I guess.
That bird. It's an agent of Sauron.
Be careful about the birds.
Oh, yeah, it's not a bird, it's a government drone.
Birds aren't real.
COVID was a conspiracy to get us to all go inside so they wouldn't see us change the batteries on drones, man. Yeah, have you noticed how many more birds there are? Think, man.
I think the best part of everything that happened during the COVID pandemic is the videos of the monkeys that are normally fed by tourists freaking out because there's nobody around.
That my favorite story, or one of them, I should say, to come out of COVID, was the person who said, "I'm gonna figure out how to make a perfect egg for breakfast."
And tried every day.
They tried every day, and guess what? They did not succeed. It turns out that all they did was give themselves obsessive compulsive disorder. Which I shouldn't laugh at, but it shows that it is possible. So while you may think there's an ideal egg, ask yourself, what is the price? There is good enough in breakfast. Move on. I love that this guy's just out for a patrol with his pal, and they both have a radio.
Yeah.
You think one of those guys fires up that radio set, and the other guy holds his ears? Like, how does that work?
R10. No, that's not an R105. Which R105 should be. Hold on.
He can call from help up there.
He can't.
He can't from down here.
I believe that's supposed to be an R105M, which is their manpack radio. They didn't have squelch. Did you know that?
I had heard that, yes.
Yeah, Soviet radios never had squelch. So if you were the radio man, what you did was you listened to just white noise, to static, the entire time. And when somebody would talk, it would break through the static.
Isn't that fun?
Russian radios, to get the best reception, you also needed to clear a spot of dirt and then ground the radio in the dirt to get your best connection to ground, and you would get better power out of it.
Yeah, these are, if memory serves, these things are damn near 50 pounds.
Yes. They're almost twice what a Prick 77 is, or a Prick 25. They are about half the capability.
If I can remember, God, R105, like the later ones.
Yeah, the 105M is the updated one that they should be using now.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
Oh
God.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Just beat him for paying attention.
Oh yeah, that alert went out because he went, ugh. He made a fucking Hank Hill noise, and everybody in the base heard it. No, stop.
Because the R105D, the old one, is like that's metal housings and tubes. Those are super heterodyne radios. That's FM or VHF. Like, that is just nasty. But the M was the one where you got the plastic housings. You got some printed circuits.
Plastic faceplate, but it was still a steel housing.
And you still also got the it's partly transistorized. Partly.
Yes.
Now, if I can remember, those things are like at 46 megahertz.
Yeah, they're broadly the same range because they based it off American World War II radios. Is their starting point for development. Which, the more I learned about Russian equipment, the more I figured out that American World War II was their starting point on almost everything. It was the most advanced equipment they had at the time.
I mean, you're talking like, it's signal to signal transmit on those is like a watt.
Yeah.
It's you could blow that thing off the air with like a Walkman. It wouldn't be hard.
Yeah, so they're they will talk to a PRC-10. If you turn the squelch off on a 77 or a 25, you can actually make them talk to each other, but they don't like it. It's a very muddy signal.
Yeah, it's when you're talking about like transistorized.
I've never
like,
seen one of them
wad.
slide like that.
Well, they're trying to stay, up with the times. Now, what's neat is those old Soviet radios you could use as a hammer. You could use them to do body work. They're very sturdy. They're just not complicated.
Right, I want to climb. I want to climb.
I've only ever seen one once, and I saw one taken apart, and it was just like, it looked like a phone box from the 50s, like a control box. It did not look good.
What am I looking for? Yeah, sure.
If I remember, the range on those was maybe 20 clicks, but you needed to be up.
Operational is less than that, yeah.
Oh, I'm saying, like, the guy on that Fulton balloon could reach 20 clicks.
what we were seeing. Oh god, that was a good throw. What we were seeing was anything over 2 clicks, we had to set up a repeater station. On a high point to transmit. You know, these guys are VDV. They should be able to handle one asshole running around in tiger stripe in the desert.
If this was VDV in Afghanistan, it would just be like, and here comes the Heinz. It would be Heinz
exactly.
57 flavors of helicopter. It would be a bad time.
No. Why do you
I'm
have a
looking at
magazine?
one of these things that is for sale, apparently.
Uh-huh.
I'm sitting there trying to read all of the defects. Okay. Oh.
Support helicopter requested.
Oh, nice. Okay, they got one with the bakelite housing.
Oh, nice.
It ain't cheap.
They used to actually be really cheap because nobody was interested in them.
Now everybody wants one.
But yeah, old stuff gets cool, man.
It do. Transistorized radios are fun to listen to. They're not fun to use.
They're not fun to use seriously. They're fun to play with.
Oh yeah, they're fun. They're really fun when you want to do the transatlantic thing and be like, this just in! Fat man busts his buttons! News at 11! And it sounds hilarious.
Yeah,
But, like...
It's the same thing, like, a World War II Willys Jeep would be awesome as a toy, but I wouldn't want it to be my primary transportation.
Well, that's the issue, is I did World War II reenactment, because I think any historian should do reenactment for the period they're studying. Learn how the food is made, learn how... Like, one of the things that blew my mind about reenactment, the field kitchens used to make hot meals in World War II ran on gasoline.
Yeah.
Imagine having some breakfast cooked on gasoline. Be like, oh man, bust out the 85 octane.
Support helicopter has arrived.
That's fucking ridiculous.
See that bird flying over? It's spying on us.
Yep, always is. Gotta
Always
be
has
careful
been.
about birds, man.
But yeah, when it comes down to like...
Oh shit, that's what I was
God.
actually supposed to do?
Oh!
I was just sowing chaos before I did whatever I was supposed to do.
Well, that's reasonable. But no, when it comes down to, like, those field kitchens, you'll sit there and find out that, like, yeah, they cook everything with gasoline. You pour gasoline into that. Your food is warmed with gas. The hot water's cooked with gas. It's all gasoline.
You sanitize equipment with gasoline.
Yeah, everything is gasoline. And so you're like, holy shit, why was there not a flame from, like CeeLo Heights all the way? I mean, you could imagine anywhere the Allies went, there just being a sea of just fire with that sort of mindset. But no, fairly not. Even people were smart.
Have you ever looked at how the immersion heater works? Because I've operated one of those, and it's just dripping gasoline onto an open flame, and it doesn't drip it fast enough to explode.
Yeah, it's dripping it just slow enough to not explode your whole head off.
Yep, and it keeps a constant fire. It's making a noise like a fucking V1 buzz bomb.
Yeah, bro, 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 bro. Yeah, it's horrifying.
It's leaded gas.
Oh, yeah, sorry, leaded gas for that extra sweetness. Now, the one thing that blows my mind, though, I had a friend of mine in Texas. His dad had a Christmas tree farm, and his dad had an old Willys Jeep.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was the coolest thing in the world when I was little. By the time I got to Reenactment and I actually had to ride on that thing, good Lord. You ride a mile in a Willys Jeep, and you feel like you've been through a war. Like, how many people in chat have ridden a motorcycle? And I mean, to the point where you start to feel it in your shoulders. Because I'm pretty sure that most of you know that feeling, at least at some point. Riding a motorcycle at some point, perhaps, if you were an adult. But it's that feeling, but the whole body. It feels like you're being shook the whole time because every bump and everything hurts because it's just good enough to be a vehicle. But it is not good enough to, like, call a car.
Yeah. They're austere vehicles. So I make all my D-class personnel fight to the death. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Is this where Kojima waxes poetic about pouring from an empty vessel and says that you have to take care of yourself? Because I'm going to tell you, I got a lot of people who say that. And every time they say it, you just ask the person, well, how are you doing? And they just start crying.
Yeah. Don't make me cry on air. Like those trays full of sand that clean bullet cases. Yeah.
All right.
The gas is not dissimilar from the experience of a Willys, but it's roomier, so it's a little better.
I'm fine with roomy. The Willys Jeep is the best way to introduce spine injuries you didn't know you had.
Mm-hmm.
In a Willys Jeep,
blood.
it's just a little blood.
It's been on me long enough to be gummy by the texture. It looks like fucking jelly.
I think you should look like Swamp Thing after a while.
Yeah.
The little polish. I say we got a true diamond dog on our hands.
Roll credits.
He said the thing. So what kind of dog is that?
It's a wolf, allegedly.
Uh-huh. One of them Afghani Highland wolves?
Yes. Yeah, well known for the wolves of Afghanistan.
I'm looking at this Soviet radio and I'm thinking I can make it work, which means I probably should not be looking at that.
You can absolutely make them work. Like I said, we were doing operations with them. Because we needed people to be able to listen to the proper nets when we were op for. I can't not stop and listen for a little bit. There we go. I've showered. That is all the self-care I need. Get the fuck out of my way.
I agree. We've taken an adequate amount of self-care. Man.
Hold on, let me inspire the troops here.
Gotta inspire them troops.
I will say I like them a lot better now that they carry actual XM177s and not the janky fake guns.
Well, I really like that touch. I think that's a good mod. Now, let's discuss the XM177.
Stopgap.
It's
Yeah.
yeah. I was gonna say it's an AR-15 shaped AR-15. Usually seen with that suppressor, which nobody knows how to take off because, as far as anyone has ever seen, they always have them on them. So, you know, they just assume they're there forever.
Well, it's only a suppressor in the legal sense.
You know, early suppressors were not great, except for the ones that were just total integral suppression. But that's a whole other thing. I mean, if you make something from the very beginning in every which way to be quiet as possible, sure, you can, but it's difficult.
I was always told that that was more for flash mitigation and any sound.
I know. There were so many statements on that.
Care. Yeah, and God fucking damn it, they're gonna make me do this.
What? Performed? Oh, you gotta accept them. Huh? Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, fine. Helicopter, come pick me up. I'm just going to stand here and make Stone Mastodon hold that fucking salute until he collapses of fatigue.
Stone Mastodon.
I really would not trust anyone who their fake little military organization, they make people salute them.
That is a good question. It's like, okay, be the military or don't.
Yeah.
But if you're going to be the military, be the military. But if you're going to be like, we're off the books and everything else, maybe don't. Maybe, you know. I guess Kojima thinks that when people get out of the military...
That guy's still down.
Don't worry about him. He's thinking about it. You know?
Yep. Remember not to lock your knees. Get mildly military mercenaries.
Well, I mean,
Lost your
does
shit.
Kojima think... Oh, yeah. Oh, so does Kojima think that when people get out of the military, they still salute people? Like, do they wake up and salute the breakfast they're about to eat? Or, like...
Well, I mean, that is a very Japanese way to look at it. What base color do we want for our mother base?
Good question.
Do we like blue, black, red, greens? There's two greens.
It's all gray to me.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm asking chat. Gray? Is mother actually based? I don't know.
That's a good question.
Pink, purple. Are you guys seeing different colors than I am? Can't do dazzle. I wish you could. Otherwise, that would be my choice.
Razzle Dazzle would be great.
Yeah, it's only plain color.
Yeah.
All right, I'm seeing a lot for the salmon pink. So there we go. We call that desert rat camouflage. And I can't build any bases on mother base while I'm at mother base, because that would be...
Why would you be able to do the things when you're at the thing? That sounds really fucking
I've got to
stupid.
do it when I'm away.
Yeah, you got to do it when you're away, because if you were doing it while you were... come on. That sounds insane.
Reach my maximum capacity?
Have we?
Apparently I have too much money. Did it carry over my money from the last game? It did.
Oh.
Okay. Well,
Then let's just... Yeah,
explain some things.
just buy all the stuff. All the stuff.
Mission accepted.
Drop in right there. Uh-huh. The Wax Sind Barracks. Yeah, we'll stick with the parade tack.
I think the parade tack really adds a splash of pizzazz.
It does. It does. The Western tack is nice as well.
It's nice. It's nice. It's nice. I agree.
Can't buy any laws yet. Can't get any sniper rifles or rocket launchers until we steal enough people and develop enough platforms.
Spunky says they need Team Zissou hats.
They do. Oh man, if you could customize, see that's what I wanted. Was I wanted over the top, just absurd customizations.
Yeah.
Yeah, why am I a mercenary? I've got 18.9 million warbucks or whatever the fuck they are. I could buy a Caribbean island and retire. Exactly.
I mean, this is what year?
1984.
You have enough money to build a giant oil platform off of the Seychelles in the 80s. With enough money left over to fund a private military.
Yeah. Oh, isn't that interesting? Did the man who developed my prosthetic hand get lost? God.
In Afghanistan, which is well known for its cybernetic programs in the 80s.
Yeah.
You know?
Just as the direct action penetrator version of the MH60 is well known for being developed in 84.
Well, I mean, the cybernetic arms were very much the reason why the Soviet Union invaded, as you know. Oh boy. I want to find a horse. I want to well, you know what? Of all the places to find a horse that isn't afraid of AK variants, I'm going to say Afghanistan is probably it. It's probably the only place where you could get Death Corps of Krieg cavalry, for real.
Yeah.
I need a horse that isn't afraid of landmines. Well, which one you want?
Oh, man, that's a lot of people. Oh no, those are sheep. Did he just headbutt?
Man, sheep got our back.
Operation Solid Sheep.
That horse has seen
You're literally
stuff.
coming up here just to spot me.
Well, I mean, they're not smart. People seem to keep falling down.
Strange, that.
Anyways, better not radio it in.
Especially not with your giant glowy antenna on your radio backpack. Which is a feature I very much like, you know?
I want my radio to let people know who to shoot.
Truth is, an environmental NGO has asked us to remove wild animals from combat zones.
Oh. Bob Barker's here? Is Bob Barker here?
Got the cargo upgrade. I don't understand why I can't take these yet. I want my fucking Jeeps. The entire reason why I started that bullshit was I wanted the Jeep. Even though it's not quite a UAZ. Yeah, I'm not starting the NGO platform.
It'd be funny if you could use the NGO for cover. Like, every time people came to investigate your stuff. Yeah.
You pull out documents, you're like, I'm just a wildlife reporter.
Yeah, you're like, oh no, we're not mercenaries. No, this is Bob Barker's Save the Seals.
I'm
club.
taking photos for Nat Geo.
Yeah, we're National Geographic.
No, God damn it. Get up here. The controls are not what they should be.
I am a parade horse enthusiast.
Alright, F for finocular.
I like finoculars.
That guy's awful. That's all stuff I could steal, except I don't have the right upgrade yet. Is there anybody in the tower? No. Blow that up. Anybody in that tower? Yes.
Analysis complete.
Really, everybody that's on this side? Everybody I can see from here. Ugh.
I like how they don't really have patrols, but rather walk 12 feet from the flag and then go back.
Yeah. Like, if that was Kojima's way of making a statement about one of the failures of Afghanistan was they never tried to project any power outward, they just stayed in their base until they got fucked with. Okay.
That would be very, very intelligent.
Yeah, but I don't know that he's put that much research in.
Well, I want to know, I mean, basically, if it doesn't wear heels, he's not interested in adding to it.
There's some truth there, too, yes.
Arrived at your destination.
Everything else is just movie logic. Let's put the mortar right behind the machine gun.
Well, you gotta be able to choose which you're going to use. Why did I... Okay. Wrong button.
I don't know, that could have been funny.
If they see you steal enough of their people, if you're just really blatant about it, then they will start shooting at any balloons whenever they see them. Alright, yeah, we got fuel resources here. And then...
I love how there's so many sabotage things in these games, and they act like we need to sneak in and do this and do that, and sneak in and do that. And I'm like, hey, you know those jerry cans around the base marked diesel? Just go pour that in the water tank. Handled.
And now we're going to use my Walkman to scan this document.
I love how when he points it at the paper it smokes, but when he points it at his face it doesn't. Oh, Double Halo says it's called a scan, man. Still runs on tape.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you gotta
But
put
I mean,
the
CD skip.
yeah.
You can't trust them.
Yeah, nah. You haven't earned that skill yet.
Analysis complete. Analysis complete.
All right, here comes two more fuckboys.
I wish you could lay fun ambush things, like you put a little jack-in-the-box on the ground, and they pick it up and start playing with it, and it's like boop, 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 boop. It doesn't blow up or anything, but when it pops, one of them starts crying because it scares him. Like, he starts crying. He just is like, and they're like, they have to, like, comfort him. And there's, like, a really uncomfortable conversation.
We'll let them meander their way over here. If the paper is smoking, doesn't that mean fire? Well, yeah, I think it's because it's a laser that's scanning the paper. Yeah, if you perform night raids, they get flashlights and night vision. And here, I thought it ran on MP1s. They also do learn that helmets exist, yes. So, Soviets in helmets in Afghanistan is a weird thing, because you saw, especially on recon elements like the VDV, a lot of people not do helmets, because it really restricts your hearing and your awareness. It's also shiny. The Soviet paint they used was shiny. So there was a lot of reflectiveness on it. What they were doing to get rid of that is they dunked their helmet in mud and let it dry. I would have brought the intelligence in, but I set it on fire.
Don't worry. This is a burned asset. Come on, that was good.
Oh, good fucking lord.
I want to...
Yeah, a laser that powerful in the 80s would require a trailer battery.
Uh-oh.
What the fuck was
What are they alarmed at?
I think they're alarmed that the machine gun's missing.
They're alarmed that they're going to have to explain what happened to it.
No, they won't. Don't worry. Deputy Venom Snakes got their back. They'll just have to explain to their parents when they're allowed to write them how they wound up in the Seychelles.
I have a better idea of how to get how to absolutely fuck with sentries. They walk in pairs, right?
Yeah.
So what you do is you knock them both out, and then you super glue their hands together that looks like they're holding hands. So they come running down the road holding hands. And any commander who sees them is going to scream, "What the fuck?"
Yep, just very, very aggressively holding hands.
Holding hands and looking terrified. That's going to ruin their day. Just have people running down the road looking terrified, holding hands. The commander's like, there's no time for this.
And I haven't
Why?
developed the big enough cargo that I can extract these to whomever suggested that I do. So we're still waiting on that. Oh yeah, you know, bullets don't go 60 meters. Bullets don't go 36 meters.
They can't.
Oh, there we go. 28 meters.
Yeah, that's a limit.
I bet the hard limit's 30.
Even more terrifying than seeing two terrified people running at you holding hands, not knowing why they can't unstick them. Because, you know, super glue's awesome. What I think would be even funnier is to look over and see some guy running at you in a weaver. Just running at you, gun perfectly level. In a weaver stance.
Here we go, killing again.
Oh, yeah. And look, it's Squig. Hello, Squig. What if, well, I mean, I understand his limited vision. I mean, he does have one eye. That limits depth perception.
And the one eye he has is the one he uses to aim down the sights in all the games. Or the one eye he doesn't have, the one eye that's missing.
Habit, I guess.
Yeah,
You can't cross-train. That's illegal.
I've always wondered if it's supposed to be like an occluded eye gun sight, but, you know...
I've heard a lot of words before, but that one doesn't make me feel happy. Switch to an AK. Let's see what happens.
Oh, you want to see what AK does rather than my M63?
Yeah.
I think I killed everybody over there.
You didn't kill Siren Guy.
No, I didn't kill Siren Guy.
What if every second that siren was up, the Soviet flag got higher, and when it got to the top, an apocalypse tank came out, and you had to fight it from an alert? You had to stop the siren from raising the flag. I mean, because that's about as much sense as Kojima's gameplay.
Yeah. Alright. Come on, you son of a bitch.
Alright, let's see.
Off you go. Have fun. We're under heavy fire, yep.
That's a lie.
You know, those are like commo trailers. I don't understand
The apocalypse is here. Keep your eyes peeled.
Yep, keep your eyes open. We don't
We're
know
under
where
heavy
this guy
fire.
is.
We're under heavy fire. From where? We are.
Don't question
They stole
me.
our mortar. They stole our mortar. What? They took it with a balloon.
Yeah.
And then you hear the guy go, all right, you're fired. Did Willy Wonka break in?
Could you imagine having to explain that to, like, your fucking...
Ah, yes. The man ran into our facility. He had one eye. He stole everything with a balloon. He rode a Lippens on a pony. And, we attacked him. Ah, yes. Where's his body? Well, then he left.
Yeah.
Eh?
Captain, I'm really sorry to have to tell you this, but all of the M2s that we have in inventory are gone.
Man, radio guy seems a bit weirded out by this. Why can't you get on the radio and just be like, never mind, that's a lie, that didn't happen?
Yeah, I've got a Russian interpreter now. Surely he can...
He's like, nah, they're just joking. It's a prank.
It's a prank, bro, it's a prank! They reclaimed your mortars.
See, here's what I would do if I was in this setting. If I was in this lunatic setting where you had to hire an interpreter and you had to do all that or whatever, you know, just if you live in this world, what I would do is I would tell that interpreter whatever the command says over the radio. You will copy it, but you will whisper it in a sultry manner, word for word, as they say. So they issue an order, you say it back, sultry manner, exactly the same. They hear it twice, but the second time makes them not want to listen. Be like, hey, we're under attack. And they're like, ugh. I'm trying to pay it, and they're like, oh man, it's bad. Just give it that late night FM treatment. All right, check that grenade right there. Yeah.
There we go.
What's funny is you could break that radio with a broomstick.
Yeah. Like
You
that
could,
would
you
not
could break
have been...
most of that. Yeah.
The chopper will be able to get in close now. You can designate a landing zone near the outpost.
Select a strike point.
Let's pour sand in the bearings.
Support helicopter requested.
Then how are you talking on the radio? If the radio's out, how are you talking to people? But on the radio?
Yeah.
You know, there's a little bit of logic there. All communications are down. This is the base that you cannot hear. It's to everyone. Well, anyways, now that I've destroyed my own plot point, Batman's still out there.
You ever send someone a picture of their phone to their phone and say, hey, you forgot your phone?
Yeah. I've done that. You know, war is strange.
I don't think they want to come out and play anymore.
Nah.
Who are you shooting? Is there just a guy down there? There is.
He's very confused.
One man versus the attack helicopter. Good on you, man. Like, they should award your bravery, because holy shit. They're just burning that guy's body with bullets.
I would love to see a game where you could just terrorize the enemy Looney Tunes style, like most people did in this game.
Yeah.
But just on purpose. Like, I would love to be able to go find those phone lines that, you know, they've linked between positions and then drag the wire off. Even better, find the spool and run it out into the woods. So they're like, hey, this line went down, go run it. And they go chase that line, and then they find the spool that just goes off into the woods. And after like going over a mountain and under a lake, there's like an X and then a little pile of birdseed.
Jesus fucking Christ!
He brought those hydras. He's gonna use them.
So, I've signed out.
Don't worry.
It just determined I was using mods and decided that I didn't need to be logged into the game anymore.
Oh no.
So, banana phone is a very specific choice on my part.
Yes.
The story there is I used to do OPFOR for various military units that would contract us. We were contracted for some ROTC kids one time, and they were supposed to establish a fob and then set out LPOPs. Don't shoot at me with a Makarov. And, do their thing, and we were supposed to be a harassing enemy for them. So we're in Soviet equipment, we've got Soviet vehicles, right? It's the last day. It's the last, 12 hours of the last day of this exercise. And we decide it's time to screw with these kids. So we took a boombox, which we had for this express purpose, and we put a CD on it, on repeat, with the only song being Banana Phone. And we went and we crawled out in front of one of their LPOPs, and we started it up about 100 meters in front of their position in the dark. They did not have NVGs, so they could not see where it was coming from. And then we just left. And as we left, we accidentally bounced the guys who were supposed to relieve that LPOP. So their relief never came. They'd been in position 8 hours, and they were going to be in position for another 8 hours. And they just laid there listening to Banana Phone on repeat for 8 hours, certain that it was a trap, and they would get bounced the second they came out to investigate where that was coming from. I feel really bad for what I did to those kids. They're just college kids.
I'm gonna say this. They will fear Raffi forever.
We did not mean to torture them quite that badly. We figured after 10 minutes they'd be like, okay, yeah, they're screwing with us, and they'd go shut it off. No.
Oh, I did tell you about how when we did the World War II reenactment, we accidentally drove into a LARP.
No.
All right. So, as you know, there are a lot of reenactments in Oklahoma, Missouri, and so on. Those fields are also rented out for other things, like medieval combat and such.
Okay.
Hedgerows look like hedgerows, and you can't see shit from a Sherman tank. You can't see a goddamn thing.
Yeah.
They're loud, too. And
Yes,
you maybe miss signs and stuff. So, anyways, there we were. And, the wizard took it well. They never dropped character.
Good for them. Fuck yeah.
They were like, Metro Beast from a faraway land. And I was like, they don't sound like Germans.
Nice.
Yeah, we got in trouble.
So is it just hanging there?
I guess. Now, the other one that was bad was 2 reenactments after that. There were the guys who were waiting to set up an ambush, and then the guys playing Easy Company who were supposed to walk into the ambush. Little did they know a Boy Scout troop came through.
Oh no.
So a bunch of Boy Scouts like, oh, look at the chipmunks and blah, 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 blah. And then 8 minutes of blanks and screaming. Now, all the kids thought that was the coolest fucking thing they had ever seen. The scout leader was not happy, but I wasn't there for that one, so that's allegedly.
I cast armor division.
Yeah, no, a Ford GAA V8 in a Sherman is one of the loudest things you've ever heard. If you just go Google Ford GAA V8, start, and you will hear it. It's just the sound of the world ending. You can't hear shit in a Sherman tank. You can't hear anything with that fucking football helmet on.
Yeah.
And you're believe me, if you think the headlamps on that thing are sufficient, no. There's a good reason that many Sherman people were just like, they would have all the hatches open with their like lamps held out because you can't see a damn thing. And so yeah, we thought we found the right park and we did not.
Yea, upon that day did the metal steed break our ranks, and we fled before its song of the phone of bananas.
I was like, check their papers. I did my part. No infiltrators got past the line today. That was the first reenactment I saw the people.
Their dogs through our public LARPing space. Yeah.
Well, I remember that was the reenactment that was really cool because that's where I saw the near Thompsons. They don't shoot real cartridges at all. They shoot nothing. Yeah.
P-Fong.
They're amazing. Full auto. They sound like a machine gun. They look like a machine gun. They're made out of metal. Everything else, just really cool. And there were guys that had those, and I was like, wow, those aren't real machine guns. And they're like, no. And I was like, you can't tell till they're up close. So that was just really neat to see. And they're really well made. So that was the reenactment. I ran into that, and those are neat. And then there's always that one guy who has the BAR that lets no one touch it.
Yeah, we're on the German side. The guy with the MG42, who's invariably they're retired, and they don't. Yeah,
it's usually like you'll have all the people with Mausers are generally the Yugoslavian M48s or VZ24s or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Mitchell's Mausers, for those of you out there who know what that is. But when you see the guy with the MG42, he looks like he should be in that sunshade area of a Wendy's, the sunshade area. And so it'll be like, oh, a bunch of younger dudes playing soldiers, and then the 60-year-old guy who owns the machine gun. See, I also was of the mind of like, let's take the LARPers with us. Because think about it, like, what if you had a Sherman, but it was backed up by like a 5th level wizard?
Yeah, I mean, that's impressive.
Well, I mean, imagine casting light over the enemy, I'd put the wizard on a Sherman. I'd be like, all right, man that 50 and yeah. I mean, that, or imagine if infantry comes up to rush the Sherman and, the paladin gets out. That's a surprise.
Oh, yeah. Nobody's prepared for that.
Nobody's prepared for sword and board. Hey Tex, when is the next Tex Talks history coming out? We're starting the basic preliminary research. Tex Talks Battletech is in an advanced state for the Hunchback. We're at the part where we're doing some scoring, we're doing a lot of other stuff, and I'll have a lot more updates. I'm not trying to tell you to subscribe to my Patreon just for money. If you just want to listen to it, subscribe and then unsubscribe. Because I do hour-plus long updates on my Patreon where I say, here's where we are step by step by step by step. So I know people who just subscribe once, listen to the latest few updates, and then unsubscribe. I don't take that personally. It's just where I can put audio updates that are a lot better.
Yeah.
And it lets me do all that and categorize it, and then answer the questions of like, oh, why didn't you X, Y, Z, and I can walk them through the decisions we made and stuff like that. Again, you don't need to pay me money. Plenty of people just subscribe and then walk, and that's more than fine. But that's where I just kind of update all that. It'll take a while because the last history examination we did was 6 months, and this one might take longer because the subject is very complex and it
And
crosses
it's not something that anybody's really looked at.
That's the problem. Is this is now 2 for 2 of things that nobody has looked this hard at because no one likes this stuff, and I'm going, but it's fun.
So yeah, we're having to go through archives and all sorts of fun stuff. It's going to take time.
It's going to take forever, but primary sources are like that. It's very easy to read a Wikipedia or one book, a secondary source, and just go, here's what happened, and tell it in a funny way. But I want to make sure that I'm being a good historian in this, and that I'm doing not only a decent job of history, but a compassionate job of history. Understanding why people make decisions is just as important as understanding the events.
Mission accepted.
But the next one's about the Hunchback for Tex Talks Battletech, and right now with the alpha of it, my daily reels combined, it's probably a very jam-packed 90 minutes is what we're looking at. Because I've always tried to work on pacing, and especially with stuff like the Warhammer taught me, these things can go on forever if you try to cover everything, and then you'll end up not covering everything and find out, yeah, there's more to cover. So trying to make sure that we're writing with depth and good pacing, so every minute is worth your time. And that's a big commitment, and it's that balance of, if you guys are nice enough to me and my team and our work and all of our artists to create something that shouldn't exist, like full feature-length documentaries on stuff, I need to make sure that every minute I give you is my best minute, our people's best minutes, our best writing, our best music, our best efforts. So I do want to constantly refine and try harder for that, because as soon as you buckle down and say, this is what I do, and start turning shit into a factory, you lose sight of why you're doing it.
All right. What do we like for a primary? We can go the AK-74 again.
Well, okay, AK-74 is nice. Let's scroll down and see what we got. Oh, let's take that AK. No, AK. You know what? Let's take the L1A1. Let's go inch pattern. Let's go inch pattern today.
All right, and then do we
There
want a
we go.
Remington 700, or do we want
Oh,
an
of course.
RPG-7?
Well, is it with the PG-7V run? Yeah. All right, let's do it. Let's see. Choices, huh?
Choices.
What if instead of bionic arm, you could have like a hatchet?
Thought that I had, that, okay.
This is Snick. He fights for freedom.
Yeah,
Why does he have a Lipin's Honor pony? He fights for freedom.
You've got like a fucking machete blade, and there's a notch out of the top so you can rest a barrel on it.
Yeah, that's what I want. If I want to go full grindhouse with this, I want the guy to have a Chinese Dao for a sword arm that comes out. I want it to be ridiculous.
I don't need the Phantom Cigar, I don't care. Fulton device. I swear I've researched a cargo Fulton. Oh yeah, plus cargo 1. So yes, I've researched a cargo Fulton. It just isn't the big enough cargo. And then we've got Tiger Stripe, Woodland, Chocolate Chip, Golden.
Oh man,
Tiger.
Golden Tiger.
which is just the Southeast Asia. They used weird dyes.
How dare you? It's Golden Tiger. It's like Blue Steel or Magnum. It's a look.
I'm a naked snake kind of guy. I like the.
I'm a razzle dazzle. I like razzle dazzle and World War I pastels. I like razzle dazzle because it actually works on my eyes.
Yes, the Jehudi is pretty cool. It's the last update. Golden Tiger? You're a Golden Tiger guy? If you wear the Tiger, you got to carry the XM177. Okay, that's fair. Ah, yes, the camouflage that will disguise the one-eyed cybernetic armed man from Discovery.
Wouldn't it be funny if you could wear the McDonald's or like Ronald McDonald thing where it looks like you had the overcoat or the overalls? You know what I mean? Like you wear clown makeup.
Yeah.
But the Hamid fighters were wiped out. The honeybee must still be hidden at their base, the fort at Dasmasi Laman. Unfortunately, the Soviets were looking.
That's very bold of them to assume the Mujahideen got wiped out.
There's a photo of the target on your iDroid.
I want to know how his wristwatch stays on his electronic wrist. Is it just like halfway down that forearm?
Weld. It's welded to it.
Okay, yeah. Please land. Please.
Yeah, magnet maybe?
Magnet. I don't know.
It's a fridge magnet.
All I know is that whenever I wear a watch, it, makes sure that it's at the exact joint between my hand and my forearm.
I have you ever seen someone with 3 watches or more?
No. So
Oh my
Mountain
good
Relay
lord.
Base is, I believe, where we have the fight with Quiet.
I worked with a guy once who had 3 watches, sometimes 4.
Depending on what he was having to keep track of.
Right.
Okay.
Very analog dude. And this is when smartphones came out. And it was nuts because it was about 2 years into smartphones. So they'd gotten beyond like silly, you can look at the internet sometimes smartphones and actually started to have like reasonable shit on them.
Yeah, they started to be utilitarian.
Right. And so this guy had like all these, watches. And I was just like, he's like, I don't understand them smartphones. And, one of our clients had a smartphone. So I said, you want to see something weird? And he goes, what? And I showed him that you could list all of the times that you were trying to keep track of on one page. He then bought a smartphone just for that.
Yeah. If you can,
I don't think he ever made a call.
but if you can show people, hey, this will actually improve what you're trying to do or make it easier.
I saw this man look at an alarm on his smartphone, put it down, and walk over to his Bakelite phone to make
a
the
phone
call. Yes. I asked him why he used that phone, and he said, because I can smoke while using it.
The horse knows where it is by knowing where it is not.
Wow.
Don't worry about Mr. Horsey.
This is the guy I studied under when I did gunsmithing, and he had all sorts of Zen like cones that made no sense. One of my favorites was all HK pins are the same size except for those which are not. And I said, what does that mean? And he just smiled. Then I found out.
To be
Like,
fair,
these are all the same.
the smartphone can't call to where the Bakelite phone can.
That's fair.
Guard post captured.
Right, that was easy. Come on, Diamond Horse. I mean, this is like the kid who names his dog, Spot, even though it doesn't have any spots. There's gotta be better names for this. Is he?
I don't know.
D? Nope. Sorry, friend.
Retirement.
What about you? E?
See, I just do fun things. Like, I'd accessorize their uniform.
They have some interesting uniforms.
Well, no,
It's like
what
that
I
digital
do...
pattern was not around.
Well, what I'm saying is I would just accessorize their uniform. They're knocked out, right? So
Yeah.
I want them to get in trouble for sleeping on the job, but I want it to get worse and worse and worse. So I would do two things. I would, with an X-Acto knife, cut the seams on the sleeves so that they look like they had torn the sleeves off their uniforms. And then I would fill all of their canteens with Skittles.
My grandpa didn't talk about World War II very often, but when he did, he said you always checked a German's canteen. Because the only certainty was that it wasn't going to be water in there. That's how he got a bunch of schnapps and vodka and whatever else they had pilfered. Is he'd take their canteens.
My granddad had a tank, and he told a story about, well, I mean, okay, statute of limitations is probably passed, but he said that in World War II, a bunch of dudes in his unit got in fucking trouble because Milton Bradley issued these Monopoly boxes.
Yeah.
You know, for various games and stuff. They were little games that, you know, the Jeep drivers could play, and some of them were cool because they had like little belts, so you could like belt it to your leg and play like checkers or whatever. But one of them was Monopoly, and so the guys took the cards of Monopoly and they took the money out of there, and then they went around Italy and bought stuff with it. And the Italians were like, "Who is this on the money?" And they said, "Oh, that's Uncle Sam." And so it wasn't so bad when it was just like wine and food, but it got pretty bad because apparently people started to buy like cars and horses and boats.
Oh no. There's always some asshole that ruins it.
But that was, you know, World War II, and stuff like that happened all the time.
And I do not know where the plumage on the horse comes from. Does plumage on horses like have signification?
I don't know. I don't know horse
in
stuff.
Dressage?
Dressage is a wild thing. That's a wild thing.
It's a chicken horse. Okay, yeah. Can the horse poop on command? I'm not friends with it yet, so not yet. It's in heat. All right, yeah.
That's what the plumage means.
That's what the plumage means. I have to think if I fired this 7.62 by 51 by the horse's ear, I'd concuss it. Like, it would just fall over.
It probably would. Also, I think if the Brits named cartridges, it would be hilarious. They would not call that 7.62 by 51. They would call that 303 extra.
Yeah. Well, you look at their cartridges anyway, and they're just weird.
The Whipple Pop 76. Thanks, Spunky. Right, we gave him the old Whipple Pop 76. The Altercation 301. It's very British.
Don't mind me just riding my horse.
You know, I'm looking at your horse. Your horse is in fact amazing.
Do you want to give it a lick?
No,
It tastes just like raisins.
I've heard this. Yes, the mild disagreement in 84mm, please. Delayed fuse. Ah, yes, the Peasant's Bane 43. It would be named after some person. It would be like the Stern Disagreement 47. And then it would be named, oh yes, the Lord Collingwood.
Yeah.
Ah, yes, the Albemarle Crumble 47.
And they would have like a museum plaque at the base where it was developed that paints them in just the most awful light, and they wouldn't see anything wrong with it. Like, Oh yeah, Lord Collingsworth beat 8 people to death right here because they didn't make his tea correctly.
So we named the cartridge after the most formidable man.
And he faced no repercussions because he's third cousin to the Duke of Elshire.
Analysis complete.
Yes, they call the full bandolier high tea. I heard a great story about a British officer in World War I where he was walking up and down the trench very purposefully. And he said, "Come along, Trevor," to his Batman, who got shot because the sniper who was watching was, judging distance, said, "I'm going to shoot the next guy."
Yeah.
And then he goes, "Oh, no laying down then." Like, just very boredly, like, "Oh, I guess it's time to have a sleep."
Well, that's your bane.
A dirt nap. Now, of all times, there's a war on. How dreadful.
So he's useless. The more people you kill, the bigger the horn on your forehead gets. Oh, please, mortar strike me. Come on, mortar strike me. Mortar strike me. Come on, come on. Mortar strike me. Come on, do it. You want it. You want to. Come on. Oh, Jesus Christ. You can't hit me?
They're trying.
Hit me!
He's got to get that ranging card out.
Who's on the fucking mortar? You? No wonder
Alright,
you
there's-
suck. You're only a C.
Analysis complete.
So he's a B. He's a B. So I can kill him. He's a C. It's a truck.
Is that prisoner the Hamid survivor? I'm guessing the Soviets are making him take them to the honeybee.
The honeybee?
The honeybee, because they couldn't call it a stinger. That's copyright, I guess.
The honeybee sounds like the name of a really good diner. Like,
Come
you'd
on
go down to
to
the honeybee.
Inn.
Yeah. Yeah, the honeybee sounds like something you'd go to and get, like, a good breakfast. Breakfast at the honeybee.
Breakfast at the honeybee.
Well, chat says the honeybee sounds like a truck stop strip club.
Okay, yeah, that as well. Those two things do not have to be mutually exclusive.
Yeah, you could have a diner strip club.
Could you imagine
The
a
elite-
diner strip club, though? Like, you show up for fucking waffles, and, the next table over is getting a lap dance.
God. So, you're sitting there having like, "Oh yes, could I get some more coffee?" And you're just sitting there reading your paper, lap dance next table. Same staff for both.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, wow.
Boss, get down. The enemy sniper. Stay low and crawl.
Squink says that any diner can be a strip club if the police response time is high enough. That's reasonable.
Yeah, that is
Frito.
correct.
Frito says the Foxy Lady in Providence, Rhode Island has a morning special called Legs and Eggs.
Oh, good lord. Of course it does. Legs and eggs. Good lord.
Legs and Eggs. Gotta start your day right. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day.
It would be kind of cruel to hire somebody for that position who's just got, like, no legs.
That would be a mind fuck.
On board. Leave the rest to us.
I ordered legs and eggs, not torso and more so.
God. Oh, God. I don't know. That's nothing more.
That's all I really
that-
am, is a repository, a means to make cursed comments.
I know. A crime has been committed.
You gotta extract him.
Stop driving. Stop driving. God.
I don't think they got the message.
No, I don't want the box. They're gonna get my fucking message.
Oh, they will. Ah.
No, they won't. Am I hearing a helicopter? No.
Either destroy that or turn it off to shut off all the lights and surveillance cameras in the outpost.
Ah, man. Them 1980s Soviet surveillance cameras.
Yeah, well known. Very well known.
Well known. Very well known.
You gotta be careful about them. They'll spot you.
That was the first line of defense. The Soviet CCTV network of Afghanistan.
You don't see me. I know they had to make the sight radius just ridiculously bad on these guys so that they didn't spot you the second you dropped in, but good lord.
The one thing that I think is hilarious.
CCTV, god damn it.
Wow. That's not bad. Now, the one that I like that I think is hilarious is the idea that you would have this giant CCTV system of the 80s, right?
Yeah.
Which would just be miles and miles of cable and miles and miles and miles of tape.
Okay.
Just being constantly overwritten. So they have like 7 minutes per camera of active memory.
Okay.
So it's just like an insanely large flight data recorder that captures the last bit of something bad.
I'm down
But
with it.
it takes like a week for them to notice that it clicked off.
I just like the idea of it. It has all the functions of a modern system. They just don't have the technology to make a tape that lasts longer than 7 minutes.
You know, there's some majestic things to consider when it comes down to stuff you see in movies where they try to put tech in wrong places. But what I love is trying to make it fit anyways. Like, okay,
Yeah.
CCTV 1983, 84 used in the field? That would be amazing. There would be a TV truck.
Yeah.
There would be a TV truck with a generator to run the TV.
You've got a very 18 feel to it.
You know what's a really interesting gun? That we were playing Starship Troopers and someone in the BPL asked me about, you know, the rifles, and I explained how they made those. But one person asked, like, well, what about the Dushkas in that? And I said, what was interesting in that movie is they used M2 Brownings
Mocked
and
up
put
as
Dushka. They put Dushka barrels on Brownings.
Ugh.
They made Frankengun.
Why?
Once again, Browning works with everything. I will tell you this much about headspace and timing. It's difficult enough. So if you're going to go through that pain, make it interesting. What is this, 51 caliber? Why?
What I don't get is... Yeah, suppressor's worn out. Whatever. Actually, let's go to commercial break real quick.
Sure.
And we can bring this right back up.
No problem.
Where's the other half? Oh shit! Oh,
Whoa!
he's gone.
I must go. My people need me.
Yep, that's correct. That's what they do.
God, he even runs like a fucking stripper.
How many strippers have you seen run, deputy?
Oh, they're fast in heels, man. You gotta be careful.
Type of shitpost based Valhalla. An absurdist comedy club where all great shitposters exist. Where nothing is serious, where irony is the only language we speak. We go out into the world and we come back with new and greater extremities, to dragging them in like a fresh kill so that we show them to other shitposters. And at the end of each day, the material is wiped clean and anew. The world is remade in new and more absurd ways, and the only way we can cope with it is through greater acts of shitposting. And this shall be our eternity. There might even be a feast of beans, terrible mac and cheese, pizza abominations, fucking carbonated sodas made of spaghetti. You have no idea. This could be ours. This could be our fate, and you are but one step from realizing this opportunity for yourself. I'm so proud.
And we're back. No, what I was going to bring up was the M2A1 update, where, yeah, it's a pain in the ass to adjust timing on a Browning.
Yeah, fixed headspace and timing. The new flash hider. They did a lot of different things. Now, a lot of people think that the Browning, the FiddyCal, is a homogeneous product. It is not. It was in service. I mean, it's service 33 onward with earlier variations, and I mean the modern M2HB is made by, I think, well, Prime is General Dynamics, but I know Ohio Ordnance, U.S. Ordnance, and FN Herstal's one of the other primes.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to like the modern M2 Browning, it's just continuing the idea of the M2 Browning, more or less. There's a lot of different variations used by a lot of different people, and the latest one that they're upgrading to is the M2A1, which does have the it does allow you greater safety in terms of a fixed headspace solution, but I like the old one.
Yeah, well, what I've been hearing from people who are dealing with them as they come into service is that they still have headspace issues. You just can no longer adjust it.
Well, that's the thing, is the adjusting a headspace, adjusting and timing in M2 Browning is like Zen. It's a slow process. It's very intricate,
art.
but it's not an art. It has a manual. Anything as a manual is not an art form. It's maintenance. I'm the gunsmith. Trust me. Like it's just maintenance. Do not ever listen to someone say the sublime art of gunsmithing unless they're actually engraving or like doing their own metalwork. Most of it's armory work. Now, when it comes down to getting it just right the first time, that's art. But for the rest of us schmucks, you have this timing gauge, right here.
Yeah.
This little bastard. And, your headspace gauge, and, you've got your feelers, and you're just like, all right, and you just start playing with it. And, they're really nice. You get to play, and you get, oh man, if you're autistic like I am, you get all the little click clunk noises when you're oh man, that is the coolest sound. It feels so cool. It's why typewriters are satisfying. There's the click clunk sounds and you get to touch things.
Yeah, my mic won't pick it up. I just tapped a few keys out on my typewriter.
It's happy.
It is. There's certainly a zen to maintenance of a mechanical item such as that.
It's such a good click clunk sound. Like it's so neat when you're you know, back in the barrel end and you're just like, all right, give it another turn and then oh, it's so satisfying. It's all metal noises. It's so soothing. It's why that when they took the headspace away from us and they didn't let us modify anything anymore, I think that's the iPhone solution. I think we want the click clunk, that we deserve it. It's like, would you rather have an elevator with a button you have to mash and you don't know what's going on, or would you rather a guy there with a lever and you can give him an extra $5 and be like, step on it, Johnny, and he throws the lever? See, it's more fun. I think that there needs to be more fun.
Well, and that's whenever you watch a movie and you see noisy guns, they're like getting ready and there's a gazillion clicks and clacks, you're like, oh yeah, okay, I get that guy, because that's not realistic, but I understand the reason that is in the game or the movie.
Yes. Well, it's all right. I think we can reject modernity, embrace click clunk. I think that's what we all want. I think we deserve an analog world with positive feedback on button pressing.
I'll keep him.
I think everyone likes click clunk. Like, okay. You own a vehicle with a manual transmission, and you own a vehicle with an automatic transmission.
Yeah.
Now, there are certain distinct advantages to an automatic transmission. And modern automatic transmissions are a lot more efficient. And hell, they shift faster than a manual transmission can. And you can set them up with all sorts of profiles to shift whenever you want, however you like.
Yeah.
But there is something satisfying, I would say, if you had an automatic transmission. And imagine, boys and girls, if you had levers and toggles you could flip. You're like coming up on second gear and you push it and there's a click clunk for us two. I know dialed gear sounds really stupid. I know the Soviet Chaikas did them, and I know the Edsel tried. But, I mean, come on. Bring back that analog world.
Come on. Yeah, see, the gas is just a fucking tractor with aspirations. It drives like a tractor, shifts like a tractor.
I think analog's fun. I think analog is really neat. Now, I'm a weird person because I would extend that to other stuff. I want to bring back. Okay. Let's see if I know chat well enough. It says there's 130 people. That can't be true. All right. So look, that's too many. So here's the thing. Here's my idea. You could send an email, or you could put a letter in a tube and send the tube on its way. Tube.
Vacuum tubes are cool.
Think about all the tubes. You could put a letter in a tube. Letter away.
If I could, I would have a vacuum tube mail delivery system in my house.
Yes, I'd be like, hey, sounds like someone's in the kitchen. And they open it up and it says make eggs.
Now, I have before set up a field phone from the shop to, the main house, so that if somebody needs to get a hold of me and I'm out working on something, they can just dial the field phone.
Ah, yes. Hold on. Instead of dialing your cell phone in your pocket, I can walk over to the 1950s electroshock therapy box and go and wait. Mm-hmm. Be like, yeah, I don't know why anyone would press a button when I could, run that little generator. And
yeah. Well,
have you sound like you're in an engine room under the ocean.
So something I really want to try is you've heard of barbed wire telephone, right?
Yeah.
I want to try barbed wire telephone. I don't have enough barbed wire to do it. Like, on my property, it wouldn't be worth it. But if I ever win billions of dollars and buy a bunch of land, I'm going to have a barbed wire telephone system.
All right. Everyone out there, start playing the lottery. And when you win the lottery, in order, hire a lawyer, hire an accountant, hire 3 financial advisors and have them fight for the smartest thing to do. And if they all don't agree, don't do it. But earmark $1 million for one purpose: barbed wire telephone.
If you don't know what we're talking about, look it up. It is fascinating. It was a telephone system using barbed wire as a cable, because it was just conductive enough that it would send the scratchiest, almost useless system. But it was how farmers got around paying Ma Bell for their phone service.
Yeah, it was an interesting era. I would bring back a lot of things. If I had my way with the world, it would look neo-Victorian. I'd be like, everyone's wearing a hat. If I was a dictator, I would say, step 1, we're going to class this bitch up. Everyone is going to wear a fancy as shit hat, and if you don't have one, you're in fucking trouble. You better get a fez or a bowler hat or a top hat. Ladies, you have a lot more choices. Feathers and stuff and flowers.
If you have hat, sell your pants and buy one.
Exactly. You will wear a fucking hat. Everyone will have one.
Why are you running?
Analysis complete. Analysis complete.
Neither of you are worth my time?
I'm just gonna say we start with hats. Now, once everyone has classy hats and walks around with classy hats, I think that
Oh, that was cool.
That's great. That's an album cover.
That was.
It's the title of the track is Rocket Man, and then under it, please don't sue us, Elton John.
Well, if it's a parody or cover, then we should be protected. Should.
RPG's Greatest Hits, Volume 1. All right, Hamster, that's good.
That's pretty good. RPG's a good name for a band.
I think so.
And you could make it, a backronym for something really, really stupid.
Elton John seems like the kind of person that would just be, like, pretty okay with it. They'd be like, oh, that's lovely. Just...
What happens if you call a helicopter when there's an enemy helicopter around? Do they get into a helicopter fight?
It starts playing Duel of the Fates.
Like, exactly. Is it? Yeah. Carefully. Alright, everybody, see the not quite a hind, because I guess, Granini Gorky South has fucking copywritten the hind design.
Yeah, I don't understand why they wouldn't use the hind. I mean, if you're going to make a cinematic thing, but you don't use the cinematic elements, it's insulting. Like, if you start playing Bad to the Bone, Bad to the Bone, the song that everyone knows, if you start playing Bad to the Bone, and then your principal actor comes in wearing a leather jacket and boots, what is he supposed to get on? What is he supposed to drive? If you hear that music cue and you see someone walking up with motorcycle boots, leather jacket, and sunglasses, what is about to happen?
Well, we're gonna put him on a Darley Davidson.
Right. Why? You have to play the part. If somebody...
He's gonna ride a Royal Enfield in.
That or, like a scooter. You have to match what you're showing. So it's like, oh, it's Afghanistan in the 80s. Oh, cool. Well, bring out the hind.
Yeah. But no. That is the sound of terror.
That is the sound of justice. Uh-oh. They interrupted his Raffi jam. Now they'll pay.
I really hope Raffi's okay with us using that.
You know, Raffi seems like a pretty okay guy. Just singer-songwriter out there singing songs. That seems like a pretty alright dude.
Pequod is fucking brutal, man.
You know, the person listens to Raffi in combat. I'm not going to ask what motivates them.
Because it's chaos. They are an agent of entropy given legs.
I just imagine this person smiling ear to ear while flying
All right,
this.
here we go.
All right. Helicopter Pokemon.
Yep. I think it just saw Pequod.
Prioritizing elimination of enemy threats.
Good lord. Oh, and you just keep shooting it while it's down. Yeah, fuck yeah, that's my Pequod pilot.
Ding, 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 dee, 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 dee.
Rock. Oh, good lord. Okay.
I think Pequod just has an ability, an innate ability to detect fear. I name you Pequod, destroyer of worlds. Pequod wins game. Film at 11.
That's what it sounds like. I really kind of wish that, you know, you could upgrade your Pequod pilot. Like, you know, he's got a name, and as he does various things, he gets better at them.
Yeah.
You know, if he crashes because you had him do support somewhere where he's not, you know, where he's in danger, you lose him. Like, you've got helicopter numbers on the side of the helicopter so that you can tell how many Pequods you've lost over the course of the game so far.
Pequod 47 reporting in.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you should have an option of having one good helicopter or a lot of really bad ones. So when you call in a lot of really bad ones,
Yeah, you
know,
can
just
call in
it-
the DAP UH-60, or you can call in a dozen UH-1Bs with rocket pods.
I would say that it should look like a Gears of War level where all the helicopters are just spinning out of control and exploding.
Analysis complete.
And they seem really worried about this helicopter.
Analysis complete.
Oh, you fucking don't. Hold on. No, wrong button.
There you go. Wow. Warranty is void.
You just hanging over there? Alright. Oh, no, there we go. I guess he was just thinking about what he needed to do next.
I think we should have gone with Baran for something like this.
Yeah. Oh,
It
hey,
has a
they've
certain
just
level of
found
doom.
me.
I found a way of making people furious.
Which is?
Well, you know they're gonna make a new Metal Gear Solid based off of Snake Eater.
Yes!
Yeah, and I saw the best way of phrasing that. It's terrible. Whenever someone points it out, you go, "Oh wow, they made a sequel to that pachinko game?"
Yeah.
They don't like hearing that.
That looks to be exactly what they've done, though.
It actually looks really good. I wanted to hate it, and I started looking at it, and I was like, this looks really nice. It actually looks really nice, so I think we should all say nice things about it and just hope it manifests through hope, because it's we don't deserve that after all the shit we've seen happen. Like, that is too nice. It's like when EA made the Command and Conquer Remastered. Yeah. Why? I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying, wow.
It's a mixed message, right? You know, after being kicked while you're down by the company for so long, they're like, oh, and here's a Twinkie.
Yeah, imagine if someone like punched you in the face 9 times, but on the 10th time they had like a BLT for you. You're like, where's the punch? And they're like, no punch, my friend. So you have to ask yourself, is this like the penalty? Like, you have to have so much negative to good? Is this like them conditioning us? What is it?
Wrong button.
But yeah, Marco makes a point, but no Kojima.
No Kojima. Well, and I know we talked about it. We may not have done it on one of the, Are you going to leave now? I'm kind of uncomfortable that you're hanging around this long. We've talked about it before, that if Konami ever wanted to try to do anything with the franchise, the way to do it was probably going to be a HD re-release of the third game, because everybody loves the third game.
It's the most complete and correct game.
Yeah, it is. If you want to get instant goodwill, then put the game that everybody loves on a modern system. Make it play really, really nice.
I mean, all they would have to do is Metal Gear Solid 3 with a little bit of window dressing in this engine.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, that's it.
We joke about the Pachinko game, but they had all the models because they did the Pachinko game. So it was in a very good position to happen, and they hadn't expressed interest in anything beyond their Pachinko franchise in several years. As the banana phone continues, you just hear, the fucking lights go out. You hear the whirr as everything generates down.
Yeah.
You know that your side is not winning.
I was gonna say, if you hear all your generators spin down, right? And then banana phone?
As a
you're gonna die.
Roves the camp.
You're gonna die. Like, okay, now, a lot of people are familiar with a really good movie by the name of The Terminator. Can you imagine the hunter-killers at the beginning panning the searchlight out across ruined LA as the tanks crawl around, and then you have Banana Phone being played as the robots walk around? That would be a lot more exciting as an opening. You'd be like, oh my god, the machines have discovered terror as a weapon.
How did they determine how to terrorize us when they cannot feel the emotion?
Well, they watched our reality TV before snapping on us. That's what I think happened. But my favorite in this game was I just did weird stuff to the enemy. As soon as I got the decoys, I would just put a whole line of them and have the enemy lose their mind one after another. And then I would call in the helicopter. And I had the first 8 bars of the Mighty Mouse song.
Oh no.
Just on loop. And I made it really distant and deep fried and tinny. So it was like, here I come, as it just repeated slowly. And then they saw nothing but dummies. And you just saw the guys refuse to come look at them. Like, I'm not getting involved in this. Whatever this is.
Whatever this is, I want no part. How do we tell the helicopter to leave before it gets shot down?
Yeah, it's banana phone with a speak and spell voice. That would be horrifying.
That would be worse than this, yeah.
I mean, people think that you need to play metal stuff like Sabotage from a helicopter. I don't think so. I think that what you need to play is whatever makes you smile and the enemy scared. So, you know, Sabotage's one thing, but I think there's a lot of choices, like Tiptoe Through the Tulips by Tiny Tim. That's a banger for a helicopter assault.
Yeah, you play stuff like Ride of the Valkyries or, you know, Def Leppard or whatever to psych up your own guys. It's not going to do anything for the enemy. Something like this will confuse them.
What would be great is they're saying slow it down 400% because then they'd record it and speed it up and realize you got them, and that would make them really fucking mad. I mean, there's a lot of other choices. People are saying Barbie Girl. I think Caramel Dancing, you know.
Yeah.
It Ain't Easy Being Green, you know, by Kermit the Frog. We're doing a sequel. Oh, Dancing Queen by ABBA. That would be a good one.
Yeah. How the fuck do I go down? I need to go down. Down. Can I get up through there? No.
A really slow and soulful rendition of Let It Snow. Baby Shark would be funny for Exfil. I would use something like Fearless by Pink Floyd, just slowed down so it just sounds like an acid trip. They asked if we're giving up. No, we're probably just getting more music tracks.
No! God damn it. I was just trying to use the fucking... Put me down. Can I jump out? Please, God, let me jump out. Pete,
No.
you're a nightmare.
He can't hear you over banana phone.
Yeah, I can't hear him either. Fuck me.
Oh man, he likes that banana phone.
Well, at least I didn't extract the wrong body this time.
Fame decreased.
Yeah, because I
People-
fled.
Yeah. Oh, you could get the Uzi. We could push it to the limit.
We can.
Push it to the limit.
What in the deep fried duck is going on? We're recovering the stinger for the CIA. Don't worry.
Development project has been added.
Oh, good fucking God. I don't...
Build more base.
Gotta build more base.
Gotta build more base so you can have the helicopters.
Yeah, okay, yeah, there we go. Platforms under construction. I've done it. Now please let me go back to my fucking video game.
You can't. Why would you? Why? You have to, the little in the things. You have to make rank. You've got that board coming up. Did you volunteer 16 hours?
Yep. No, I've got to have...
Did you counsel 8 people this week?
Alright, we're gonna do a hot drop. Alright, buddy. Yeah. No, I don't need you.
Select equipment. Uzi.
I haven't developed the Uzi yet. Hold on.
You haven't developed the Uzi yet.
I haven't developed the Uzi yet.
You haven't called Uziel Gal and been like, hey,
Expansion.
can I have one?
Just as a test bed. I just want the one.
Please specify.
Alright.
He would just be like, who are you? Ooh, cool. Long double barrel shotgun. You could Elmer Fudd people.
Yeah.
Development project has been added.
No.
Oh man, you could take a... Oh man. That's excellent. You could just be like, pull! This is gonna be fun.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we're gonna increase our frag grenade, because that's a thing.
What? Is it just a bigger one? Like, have you heard of grenade? And he's like, yeah. Well, check this out. It's called gourd, and it's like the size of a honeydew melon, and it still has the same fuse screwed into it. So you have to it's like a medicine ball. You have like someone who's jacked like Korean Jesus, just all swole up, and they're like, all right, you pull the pin and I chuck it at them. It's like a bowling ball that you have to throw. Its explosive radius is yes.
Alright, that gives us some more options.
I think the secret, the real secret,
The real
in
secret
all of these
is
things,
that
the real
friends
secret.
are the ones we made along the way.
The real secret are the lippins on our ponies we stole along the way. Grenade, comma, Lorge.
Okay.
The spicy basketball.
Well, so how do you upgrade an M67 frag grenade? Like,
Okay.
does it just come to us with like super glue around the outside and nails glued to it?
It's even better. It's someone has taken it and just unscrewed the fuse and just packed more powder and other things in there. Like, no, I filled it all the way up. Well, how much is in here? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It'd be funny if you had to take it'd be funny if you had a game like this that was a roguelike where you randomly rolled your guy or gal.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the RPG, you know. Randomly roll the guy or gal. And what I think would be kind of funny is as you randomly roll your guy or gal, they get some, you know, pluses and minuses. They get some benefits and they get some negatives, right?
Yeah.
Naturally. So what if one of them was like, you get infinite grenades, but they're gonna be weird. Like your person's a tinkerer, so you like throw an M67 at them, and instead of, you know, your normal TNT comp B whatever, it's just like gasoline. Like it just explodes into fire for no reason, and you're like, why? There's like one that's just like baby powder, so everyone comes out and they're coughing and they're holding their eyes and they're like, it stings. It's in everything. Yeah, baby powder travels. It do. Just imagine that, just boof, dust, and like, it's night, but everyone's covered in white and coughing. Ah yes, warm up the Raffy. Let's slip the
Alright, we should be back.
Cry Havoc and let slip
There we
the
go.
204.
Yes, indeed. 204. 204 indeed.
All right.
Well, they're gonna go have fun.
All right. Well, they can go have fun.
Complete.
Who all survived? Somebody phone me Beijing, Jing, Jing. I wonder why they cut off the iPod.
Well, that actually sounds like something they would do to try to increase reliability of the M60. They'd be like, well, it jams because all the parts are shit, so we removed the bipod.
Remove it, sure. They've cut the legs off at like
No,
an inch.
that sounds like well, if we found out if we sawed the legs off halfway, it saves 0.6 ounces. All that
Okay,
extruded, that sounds like the military, does it not?
That does sound right.
It's a weight savings and it's still a tripod. Just a much lower tripod now. If you take your helmet off, you can put it on it. See, if I had a special forces team, I'd have 4 people with just normal special forces guns and stuff, but then I'd have one person with a Ghostbuster pack, and they'd be like, "What's that?" And I was like, "In case we can't capture the man, we capture his spirit." I would do stuff like that just so they freaked out. They'd be like, "Man, this war is getting crazy."
Yeah. I may kill you, but that doesn't mean your service is ended.
Yeah, you got the Ghostbuster trap.
Yeah, we will interrogate the fuck out of your ghost.
Yeah, man. You're like, every party of fighting men has a shaman in it. I had a fan ask what I would do to reform the military, and I said, battle chaplains. And they're like, what? Why? And I was like, I'm going to bring it back to the 1500s. Every company commander should have to have a fantastic hat. I'd bring it back to the condottieri era of war. I'd just be like, you know what? Unless that guy has a feather in his cap, he's no commander of mine.
Don't mind me. I'm just reloading my...
Uh-oh. What a throw, huh?
Yeah, he's got an arm on him.
Why is that guy in the army? Why is he not playing for, like, the Houston Astros? Holy shit. Okay, that was amazing.
That was a pretty good throw, yeah. I forgot that 7.62 for my gun won't do that. But 7.62 from one of the mounted guns will. Oh well. Out of ammo in the machine gun. Guess
If it was an M60, it would have broken. It would have been like, oh, it's ruined.
Where's my objective?
You know that gun has an MRBF of like 2,500 rounds.
Yeah.
For those in chat who don't understand the lexicon, that's mean rounds before failure, not stoppage as in a correctable, failure to eject, failure to feed, overheat, blah, 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 all these little things. Failure, as in replacement of parts by armor, is necessary. 2,500 rounds. These things were never anywhere near as reliable as the movies made them out to be. They required extensive babying. You would need a duffel bag of parts to operate one. It wasn't until later marks that they became actually pretty reliable. That's like, again, they found that out by handing them to Special Forces guys like Jesse Ventura, who would just go out there, beat the shit out of them, and just go, these don't work.
I've got to go interrogate the survivors to figure out where the honeybee is.
Huh. All right.
Does anybody see any survivors? Ah, there's one.
Outpost captured.
Ooh, queen. There's a good word.
So I'm reading the WBPL 76 studio chat, and Quish starts a new colony tonight.
Ah, nice. Are you really just gonna lay there? I can't interrogate you now?
So a new colony begins. So for those of you who want to torture someone who's starting a new RimWorld colony by saying all the understated things that will get them dead, like, things are going so well, you have plenty of food. I haven't seen bugs in a while. Everyone's so healthy. I'm sure all those people who just showed up are your friend.
The map has been updated.
Where are the others?
What the fuck was that?
I don't think you're going to get information out of this guy, seeing as you just shot him in the eye with a tranquilizer gun.
That's fine.
Oh, look, if this guy misbehaves, you can make him feel the tube.
Hey, brother, did you know that 40 millimeters can kill just on impact?
He's about to.
Alright, we'll try talking to him again. Alright, no, that's everything he knows.
Well, time to give him the squeeze.
Yeah, give him a little bit of squeezing. Is he worth my time?
Analysis complete.
Yeah, he's fine. Alright, friend, welcome to America. Or the Seychelles, I suppose.
One of those. You know what you could do is another PSYOP thing, is just to have a warm, tall pitcher of water and just pour it over their crotch. So every single one of them who wakes up has peed their pants. and they will just be like, why? They're like, someone knocked us all out. Someone knocked us all out and they made us pee our pants.
Everybody's hand in a warm cup of water.
I would do that. I would glue their hands together, as I said. I would tie their shoelaces together. I would do all of the stupid, like, prank stuff. It would be practical jokes would be my whole repertoire. Like, take their boots and then use a grinder to make the bottoms perfectly smooth.
Oh, man.
And then put them back on their feet. They wake up and their shoes are smooth, and they're like, why?
You're one of those guys that, like, if you were a burglar, you would change very minor things about the house.
If I was a burglar, and that was my profession. I would definitely do my best. I would definitely do my best just to add a little class. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just a little bit. I'd be like, I've stolen your diamonds. Also, I threw your milk out. It was old. That would have been a ruinous surprise. Signed, the nice guy who stole your diamonds.
Oh. Does this still work at all? Or
what if all right, what if you stole all of their shoes? I did this in Space Station 13.
You just steal everybody's shoes?
Well, I found out that one of the best ways to keep people out of cargo is to bust all the windows out of all the areas around cargo and basically do the John McClane trap.
Yeah, broken glass.
So yeah, broken glass everywhere, and then you just take their shoes off, and you throw them away, and then you take the last of the good boots and you put them in the vending machine and you make them $10,000.
Extraction arrived at Mother Base.
It was like that one time where I stole all of security's guns, and then I put them in the vending machine, and they came down and they were like, "Hey, did you steal our guns?" And I just sat behind the desk and I just did the emote gesture, and I gestured to the vending machine, and the guy went in there. He's like, "As soon as I get this gun, I'm gonna fucking kill you." And I'm like, "No, you won't." And so he sees it and he's mad and he sees the price and he's like, "I'll be back." And he runs off to go to the ATM. And the engineer comes up who has all of the money and looks at it and goes, "Oh, is that a Glock? Oh, $300, I have that," and just buys it. So then security comes back and they have the money and there's no gun. And they're like, "Where's the gun?" And I'm like, the engineer bought it." And they're like, "Why didn't you stop him?" I'm like, "He had money. This is a free station." It's role play, you know? You gotta, it's yes and.
Yeah.
So the guy said he was gonna write me up, and, you know, he was like, "I'm gonna write you up," and I was like, "Okay." And he ran back to his office to go get the material to write me up. And down the back alley, as he's coming down as he's threatening me,
Yeah.
one of my guys is dragging the locker full of all of his shit. So he runs back to security and comes back to find more of his property in the vending machine. Like, every time he left security, my guys were in there.
Nice.
That was back in the day when
got that easy.
oh, fuck yeah, push it to the limit. Now, that's the thing, is like when it comes down to the madness of the things you could do in cargo. I remember the box scam was probably the best one.
The box scam.
All right, we called it Cargonian Special Forces. We would put a box. We would put a guy in a box, and on certain code bases you could kick out of the box, but it was like the resist command, and it was loud. So we would make sure the head of security was not in security, and then we would mail one of our guys in the box who would show up, bust his way out, take all of the boxes and bags that he'd brought with him and the scanner and the wrapping paper, and he would wrap everything in that guy's office and mail it back to Cargonia. So they would come back and there'd be nothing. And they'd be like, "What?" He would bring a wrench and he would take the desk apart. It would just be empty. The box scam was really good.
Development complete.
Oh, god damn it. I'm trying to remember, do you guys remember where the honeybee's at on this?
I do not. Down in caves. Near the pollen, they're saying. In the caves.
In the caves.
But when it comes down to like Cargonian shenanigans, they should always be funny, and they should always be stealing stuff. I remember when we stole the self-destruct. On TG Station, stealing and self-destruct requires a very specific tool to use. Otherwise, it causes a criticality and you're just X-rayed and die. So I stole the self-destruct with, I shit you not, what it was. Miles Edward O'Brien was his name. He played as an engineer. And he literally played Miles O'Brien from DS9.
Yeah.
Like, just as he would. Like, oh, Jesus, that sounds difficult. Oh, I wouldn't do that. Oh, that's too much. Like, just very mild-mannered, but really capable. You know, just really, really okay guy, but, you know, kind of flappable when crazy things happen. But just very warm and friendly, but a really good engineer. And we stole that. And it was great because later on in the round, someone tried to blow up the station. They had the key in, and it does the countdown, and it just ticks to 0. And they're just waiting there. And everyone just waited, thought it was lag. And then the AI came over the box and went, wah, wah.
Nice. Oh. It's down in the creepy cave of creepening.
Who's lighting all these candles? I mean, it's cozy. I'd take a nap in there.
I
said
suspect the Russians did.
Uh-huh.
I mean, they're not really candle persons.
Oh, who brought that couch? What the fuck?
I don't know, man. There's a lot of crates down here too. Like, I don't know that I've bring this many crates.
If this was Cargonia, I would be like, crowbars, boys. And then, you know, what you do is you dump everything out on the floor in piles. Like, this is how you do the Cargonian shuffle. Everything on the floor in piles. And then you make 2 piles. The pile that you leave behind, so that the people investigating it have to now deal with a pile of crap.
Yeah.
They can't leave it unattended. So you take the containers for it. You leave the pile of things that if left unattended will get them in trouble. And you just take the high dollar stuff.
Nope, this goes back outside. Alright. Looking for the stinger of the cave.
You know, the stinger
Back
of the
in
cave.
The
What is your
on
wisdom?
the right.
What stinger of the cave? What is your wisdom? Beep beep beep. Ah.
Brother, I crave the forbidden heat signature. Am I just fucking missing it?
Did your mod remove it from the game?
Oh god, that would be hilarious if they forgot to put it in. The missile knows where it is.
That confused one says, "Are you on the actual mission?" There's a good question.
Ooh, yeah, that is a really good question. Let's check. Yeah, locate and recover the honeybee. So I am on the mission. Back to the room where I put the goggles on. All
right. Back to the room where you put the goggles on.
It could be this room.
You know, those I don't understand why everyone does the scented candle stuff. You can light incense like they have been since the dawn of time. But if you're talking about
Coral Tunnel just takes me right back outside.
Just nice candles, like nice beeswax candles and such, that's pleasant.
Crawl tunnel takes me... There's another crawl tunnel.
Squig, if you have a vending machine and a right to fill it with things, you could make money by just having a company called Cursed Vending that just put weird shit in it.
The happy co-vending time?
Yeah, it's just like, why those pants look used, not soiled, just like the threads, hemming, and everything. And it's like, yeah, that's why it's not full price. It's a handful of Legos in a bag.
Oh man, I can't wait to purchase handful of Legos in a bag.
Come down to Happy Co Vending, and you too can have handful of Legos rescued from the Roomba in a bag.
Roombos?
Oh, God. I once saw a Roomba, that someone had, and they were trying to tell me about how great it was, and I was watching it, and I was actually... there it is. And I was watching it, and I was actually, impressed, because I thought it wouldn't sweep or clean anything, and it did. It, swept and cleaned stuff, and I was like, that's amazing. I thought it was going to be bullshit.
Yeah.
And then it came to the top of the stairs and went down them and just exploded on the way down the stairs, whipping everything it had just cleaned all the way down the wall and the stairs.
All right. Oh, there we
and
go.
I was like,
Move too fast. It's got a mist.
Remember CQB Rocket, Snake?
That's one thing I never got about this game, is it would have taken so little effort to just make it so you used whatever model weapon is on your hip instead of defaulting you to the default weapon for these cutscenes.
Oh, what, you mean like GoldenEye did?
Yeah. Yeah, like countless games have done. The model's already there, it's already in game, you're just telling it, use this instead of that.
All right.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a thing.
That's a thing.
It's chilling there in the giant robot hand.
Just Afghanistan stuff.
Yeah.
Giant robot hand. He's like, Otacon, they have a Centurion. Otacon, the Periphery Defense Militia isn't a bunch of idiots.
Well, that's a lot of blood. I think it's supposed to be like rust or dirt. Because this mist rusts equipment as a means of preventing you from just using a tank to run over mist troopers. He put the Velcro XOF pack back on?
You've changed. You became a demon for such little weapons as
Snake is constantly trying to figure out if this is real or if Shrapnel Horn is hallucinating for him again. Yeah.
I bet every time that someone, put something in the microwave, Snake just has his legs he starts doing,
Twitching.
from the waist. Yeah, from the waist down. He does all of the dance moves. From breaking to electric boogaloo. From the waist up, he is unaware that it's happening.
rest in peace this time. I'll see you in hell, boss.
What a nice guy. Don't worry about the giant robot and the Lone Ranger. Don't worry about that.
What the hell was that thing? It was huge.
Yeah. Intel was wrong. It looks like they got a Centurion, and
Yeah.
I don't think they have any ammo. But it doesn't seem to stop them from having a guy with a fedora and a Lone Ranger mask. Over. Hello, Command. Did you copy last? I'm not on drugs again. Oh, Command, there's also a zombie that took over the Soviets. Over. Oh, and Kung Fu zombie people. Over. Command, why are you ignoring me? They run very fast and turn into smoke, and they raise the dead. Robot is 8 stories tall. Yeah, I can hold.
The skulls.
10-4. Wait out.
Please advise. It's like, interrogative. Can we have Haldol, please?
Maybe it's time to see what the honeybee can do.
What, you want me to shoot at them with a stinger?
I don't think it says so on the there's a cartoon on the side. Let me read that cartoon. No, it doesn't have ghost people on it.
Is the CIA okay with this?
What, us using the stinger on ghost people?
Yeah.
Oh, that's probably why they sent us in here. They were like, yeah, you gotta use the ghost rocket. Our intrepid G-men fight the ghost Soviet Union, the Soviet Moonion, which is made up of nothing but ghosts.
I mean, I'd rather that than, deal with the Sahelanthropusy missions.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm just saying this. He's just standing there having a
Ghostbusters would have
moment.
been a much shorter movie with Stinger missiles.
Yeah, that's fair.
The mist doesn't prevent it. The mist is gone.
That's a lot of mist.
A lot of mist. Ghosts, both laser and moon sun types, are known for their vulnerability to stolen CIA equipment during daylight hours.
That's true. That's true. If you had never played a Kojima game before, if this was your first game to the series and you tried to piece the lore together just by what you were shown, not told, this would be an acid trip of a story.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, all right, well, it starts with a fire whale.
This one more so than the other games, yeah. But you can kind of say that about any game in the series.
The Cypriot fire whale, as you know. Rather dangerous. But that's what happens when you try to dodge out of paying a hospital bill in Cyprus. You fight the fire
Kojima
whale.
lore when.
No. If I had to talk about Kojima lore, I wouldn't know what to say. I would just be like, well, there's a guy named Vulcan Raven. He has a 20mm Vulcan, and he has a lot of birds, and he also is just jammed into an Abrams.
Yeah, somehow controlling every aspect of the Abrams.
He's a big boy.
Squick
Let's see who can-
Kojima lore.
No. See if anyone can place where the song's from.
See, it's heroic when I get on the helicopter this time. Wait, like the Tank Centaur guy from the old Punisher game? Just don't ask how he loads the main gun. Don't ask how he drives a fucking thing.
General Dynamics presents the one-man tank if the man is very large. We cut the bottom of the shell basket off so large man can enjoy tank.
Yep, large man, complete tank.
Large.
You saved a Marine
What?
depth. That was heroic. I believe I domed that guy.
We saved so many people. Hideo Kojima wrote this whole thing.
He did, and he wants you to know it.
Imagine if I did that. Imagine if I made a Tanks Talks Battletech, and every chapter I wrote written by, directed by, and put my name there twice and made you look at it. Just let that sit for a minute.
Private Snordmeyer is alive and well without brain damage. I'm glad you think so, because I don't. Oh yeah, make sure to show me that the helicopter's empty.
What
It's...
happened to the Hamid?
Exactly. Whole squads of hardened Mujahideen killed without a fight, and no trace of BC weaponry.
Jesus Christ.
I believe every part of that except for without a fight. I never hear
Yeah.
Afghanistan, the pussycat of Asia. You never hear that. It's like Afghanistan, more like Huggistan. Everyone there's a pushover. It's like, no, Afghanistan, graveyard of empires.
Yeah.
Only Kojima could say Afghanistan was a pushover.
Boss, I'm creating a new intel team to support you in our area.
Oh, now we need an intelligence team.
This team will head out into the field and conduct reconnaissance. Knowing the strength of an enemy force beforehand will help you carry out missions more smoothly.
Why can't I run reconnaissance missions? That sounds like a much better time than the side ops you have me doing.
That sounds like a good job for all of those people you've recruited. You know, to make them use their skills, like intelligence, like human, SIGINT, MASSINT. Sounds like all of those jobs could be done by people. I understand the extreme siloing of information, but when it's all one guy, that's a problem. Can you imagine a review from your boss, and he's like, "You're S++ rank. You're doing very well. We're gonna definitely get you that bonus this year. You're S++."
And yes, I have a mod that changes all of the weapons into real world equivalents.
S++.
You're an S++ person. You know, that's really all I've got to tell you, I guess. You're just really knocking it out of the park.
Hey boss, remember that dog you stole? Here it is again.
Yeah.
That's discipline. Following
No, it's not.
real diamond dog.
No, what? How is that discipline? The
Why are
dog
his
just,
shotgun shells like luminous?
well, he shines them.
No, I have not gotten the stink cutscene yet.
They're Corforam shotgun shells. They're for show. You know, like the shoes?
This is super important. Yeah. Man, that was really important. Thank you, Kojima, for letting me do that.
As you know, dogs are incredibly fond of helicopters and loud noise. That's why everyone says, thank God I live near the airport when they have an animal. They go, it soothes them to sleep.
Yeah.
Selected the ones I'd like you to handle and added them to the list. Take a look on your iDroid. The more missions you complete, the more we can expand Mother.
Ah, yeah. Physically and mentally refreshed by my 10-second cold water shower.
You know, I loved all those fucking articles out there that were like, a cold shower is just the thing to break depression. And I was like, when you've had to do that, you go, no, it's not, you fucking hipster. It's not good times at all.
No, it's not. Also, staff morale increased.
The MJJ says that was quite a knife hand. Let's knife hand some morale into these people. Outstanding! Well done! Motivated!
Motivated. Downright dedicated.
I'm about to motivate you! Stay motivated until I can reach motivation range with a hand! Motivation! Outstanding! Cleared hot!
You motivated yet, fucker?
You motivated all the way down that stairs! You motivated your short and long-term memory away! Motivation!
Thanks for that, boss.
I believe that's the wrong present arms when you are armed. You stupid son of a bitch.
I'm gonna motivate you to be correct until you can't remember my name.
That's called extra military instruction, what I did right there.
I call it percussive maintenance.
Let's see. What
The
platforms
best
do I have yet?
the best gunny I ever heard, the best gunny story I ever heard from a Marine who said they had a Marine gunny who spoke in the third person. They would describe themselves in the third person and all the time.
Okay.
Their whole career it was consistent. This person spoke about themselves in the third person. Knife Hand City, Knife Hand City.
When he wakes up, he's gonna have a bad time. All right. So
Why are you sleeping? Because I shot you full of Thorazine.
No naps on duty. And yeah, I can go for the big drink if I really want to. But it ends the it's a game over screen, I believe. Save if I throw somebody over. It's the K-hole gun.
Yeah, I just love the fact that, you know, like KBR is out here building these and is not asking questions. They're like, oh, there's really nothing to drill for here. And you're like, uh-huh. And you take off in your attack helicopter and like, all right, I guess.
Oh, man. No, what you just did was called not service relation related. Yeah.
I just love hearing insane gunny stories from people because they're usually fun. I had heard a story of a gunny said finish that goddamn Pop-Tart and someone didn't even open it and he ate it with the foil like while making eye contact with him in like 2 seconds and said it's that easy.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I had heard that story and I said you can't eat foil. Like, that was just my response. And, like, the 2 other people who had witnessed it were like, you don't understand this guy. And I was like, are you telling me he was so, like, mad or motivated he did superhuman things? And they're like, yeah, like a Jedi, but dumb. They said that was the same guy who screamed at people for 8 hours and then passed out from it.
At what
Like,
point? Go ahead.
I'm just saying, like, that's amazing. Like, I've heard of people screaming until they go hoarse, but I've never heard of someone screaming so hard with oxygen use that they just fall over. That's a lot of screaming.
That's a lot of screaming.
That's a lot of screaming, because those people are not out of shape. If someone in peak physical fitness screams themselves unconscious, what the fuck? All right, we need to go drive along this. Like most Soviet equipment, there's a lot of play in that steering wheel, so I'm sure you're
this
probably...
is supposed to be a mutt, and this is an M151. Allegedly. I want to know why we have to put these fucking bases so far apart.
You know, platforms typically, as you know, when they build oil platforms, typically they do have like 2 or 3 miles of cavernous walkway, you know, for the Jeep traffic.
Yeah. I do like the forced motion blur on the tires so you can't tell they're not spinning. There we go. We're here.
We made it all this way.
We made it all this way to see the first constructed platform. Didn't I choose pink? Oh, that tower's pink. This one's orange.
Oh, we must have run out of paint.
I guess. Why would we keep both the dual ZSU-23 and the Vulcan? Why wouldn't we just standardize on one?
Listen, finders keepers.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. You don't tell me what the fuck I do with my dog.
That scissor lift is very dangerous. You should have a lockout tagout on that.
We should. Some of them are halfway up, which,
That's dangerous.
that's really stupid, yeah.
Yeah, like of all the dangerous stuff up there, I'm gonna say that needs a lockout tagout.
So, all right, we are up against time, so we are going to have to call it here.
Yeah, we got a new colony on RimWorld tonight, guys.
We
so
do.
Cooking on the Rim is next. Remember, only positivity and nice things. If you say only positivity and nice things in RimWorld, only positivity and nice things happens.
Indeed. Positive thoughts. The power of positive.
Positivity.
Thing here.
Positivity.
I'm positive that it will be a positive experience. So, all right, we're gonna get off here. Have a good night, guys.
See you guys later.